extra $10 billion. So actually, to be fair, I think it was more like 4 or 7 in that range that he did through emergency powers. I believe there were 2 or 3 separate instances using emergency powers just this week, sending them, $3 to $7 billion thereabouts in total. And since he took the White House, I've read anywhere from $10 billion he sent to Israel to $17 billion he sent to Israel. So Tim, you have to ask the question, why is it there's an exception to the foreign aid freezes? Why is it he's so servile to Netanyahu? And the answer is actually very simple. The answer is very straightforward. Trump has taken over $230 million from pro-Israel interests. In the first term, he took $100 million on 2 separate occasions from Sheldon Adelson, big pro-Israel donor. Just this time around, this election, he took over $100 million from Miriam Adelson, Sheldon's wife, because Sheldon passed away. And there are strings attached to that, Tim. There is a quid pro quo attached to that. The whole point is, I'm going to give you this $100 million. You're going to allow Israel not only to finish the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Gaza and steal Gaza, but also you're going to let Israel annex the West Bank. And by the way, it's that pro-Israel money, which is the reason Trump took the posture he did in the first term with Israel. Why do you think they moved the embassy to Jerusalem? Because of that pro-Israel money. That's why Trump allowed that. Why do you think they did the Abraham Accords, which was literally nothing but a giant fuck you to the Palestinians, telling them you're going to be occupied forever and we're going to make peace around you, not with you? Why do you think he did that? Again, you know why he did that. Why do you think Trump allowed Israel to illegally annex the Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory? Why did Trump do that in the first term? Because he is swimming in Israel lobby money. That's why, Tim. He's corrupt. He's bought. And because he's bought, because he's corrupt, he's serving the military-industrial complex and the genocidal Zionist Israeli regime. So, spare me, dog. Spare me. I know you're trying to get your quick little, gotcha in there. But the other point is this, too. You think I'm pro-military-industrial complex? Tim, between me and you, who has spoken out more against Israel? Between me and you, which one of us spoke out in clear terms and said, hold on, man, Trump wants to take 50% of all of Ukraine's natural resources from now until forever. That is literally economic colonization. We're rolling the clock back to 1800-style imperialism and complete economic colonization. Which one of us spoke out against that? That's right, it was me. It was me. So, from where I'm sitting, between the two of us, only one of us is seemingly pro-military-industrial complex, which brings me to my final point. Tim Pool is a supporter of Trump. Tim Pool is MAGA. Now, sometimes he'll play hide the ball, right? I've heard him do this oftentimes. At least he used to. I don't know if he still does, but he used to say, oh, who, me, bro? I'm like a liberal, bro. I'm like a liberal. I'm like left of center. But, I mean, fucking the liberals and the leftists and the Democrats have gone crazy, bro. All the wokeness and stuff, bro, they're crazy. So he says his politics are liberal, but then go look at his channel. 90% of his videos are shitting on liberals and leftists and Democrats. So that's one of the reasons I have a bone to pick with Tim Pool, is that he doesn't come as advertised, right? Just own it, bro. Just own it. If there's one thing I can't take, it's being weaselly. And the fact of the matter is, you say I am nominally a liberal, but effectively you're a right-winger and you're MAGA. And your audience is right-wing. And 90% of your content is right-wing. So, I'm just tired. We've seen this same old playbook. It's so stale. It's so boring. Russell Brand did the same bullshit. I'm a lefty, but oh my God, liberals and leftists and Democrats are wrong about everything, and Trump's right about everything. Jimmy Dore, I'm a lefty, but liberals and leftists and Democrats are wrong about everything, and Trump's right about everything. Like, how many examples do we have to see? Everybody is onto your trick, bro. It's played out. We get it. You say you're a liberal, but you suck off Trump 24/7. We see it. We get it. We get it, dog. We get it. Just own it. Just own it. Right? And that's my biggest issue with him. But finally, and the most important point, is you're going to accuse me of being pro-military industrial complex when you are a Trump supporter. There is nobody more pro-military industrial complex than Donald Trump. They were just going around saying, Trump and Hegseth, we're going to cut the military by 8%. Then what happened? The Republicans came up with a budget which increases military spending $100 billion, and they support it. They are liars. They are liars, right? Every now and then, Trump will occasionally pretend, Liz Cheney, she's a warmonger. She always wants to shoot people in the face. Kamala's a warmonger. He'll say shit like that, but then his policy will be way more warmongering and imperialist. So as I said the other day, because Representative Darrell Issa came out, and what did Darrell Issa say? We should give Trump a Nobel Peace Prize. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you people hear yourselves? Do you like realize how ridiculous you look to anybody who's paying even a minimal amount of attention? So I'm pro-military industrial complex. You support Trump. And what has Trump given us? This is just in the second term, y'all. This is just like a little over a month. Trump's warmongering with Gaza. He says we're going to own it. And he's continuing to arm the Israeli genocide, including 2,000-pound bombs, which are basically solely used to kill civilians. He's warmongering with Mexico. He repeatedly threatened an illegal war with Mexico. He's warmongering with Iran. He already came out and greenlit Israel attacking their nuclear sites and says, we'll back up Israel if they do that. He's threatening Greenland and saying he wants to take it. He just said the other day in his speech to Congress, one way or the other, we're going to take it. That is a fucking flat-out threat. He's warmongering with with Denmark because Denmark owns Greenland. He's saying we're going to steal Panama. He's going to steal it by force. He tried to coup Venezuela in the first term, and they're plotting another coup of it right now. This is why Marco Rubio is Secretary of State. This is on the top of his agenda. Everybody knows that. Somalia. Trump was just bragging the other week about bombing Somalia. What happened? What happened to the anti-war bullshit? No, because his actual policy is massively, massively pro-war. I mean, which leads me to my final point, which is you can't even say that, like, well, look, all this stuff Trump did this time, yeah, I'm against it, and I guess it's bad, but, like, we didn't know he was going to do it, and I thought he was anti-war, because the fact of the matter is, we knew from the first term he was a warmonger, right? You support Trump. Trump increased the military budget every year in his first term. So tell me again who believes in the military-industrial complex. Tell me again, you support the guy who increased military spending every year, but somehow I support the military-industrial complex? This guy increased drone strikes 432%. Meanwhile, Tim and all his buddies, these are the kinds of people to be like, oh, Obama, the drone president. Trump destroyed Obama's drone legacy, massively increased it. Trump kept us in Iraq and Afghanistan. There was a 330% increase in civilian deaths in Afghanistan under him. He bombed Syria twice. He bombed Somalia the first term and now the second term. Trump occupied a third of Syria and said, we're doing it to take the oil. We're going to take the oil. He increased the Pentagon budget every single year. He let Israel illegally annex the Golan Heights. The list goes on, bro. He ripped up the Iran agreement. He assassinated Qasem Soleimani, a top Iranian commander who was fighting ISIS in the field. He armed Saudi Arabia as they did a genocide in Yemen. And then when the Senate passed a bill to stop us supporting Saudi Arabia's genocide, he vetoed it. Literally pro-genocide president. So, I mean, do I need to say any more? Like, there's that old saying, dude, you shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. You are in the glassiest glass house of all time. I've never seen a more glassy glass house. Your show exists to coddle the nutsack of the guy who dropped the Moab on Afghanistan, the mother of all bombs. The mother of all bombs. The guy who hired John Bolton and Mike Pompeo and Gina Haspel, all insane neocon warmongers. He had them in his first term run his foreign policy. Well, guess what? Now he's got Mike Waltz and Marco Rubio and other neocons running his foreign policy in the second term, so you can't act like he's gotten better. Trump's first military raid as president killed a young American girl. He pardoned Blackwater war criminals who assassinated innocent civilians in the Nisour Square massacre. He signed a pro-torture executive order. He said we should take out the families of terrorists, the families, kill the families. That's what he said. So if your show exists to jerk that guy off 24/7 and act like he's brilliant and he's awesome and liberals and leftists and Democrats are fucking horrible, then again, I'd be careful shooting strays in this direction. Because the difference is everybody knows I'm principled on this shit, and everybody knows I oftentimes risk losing my own audience when I tell everybody the truth about the Democrat warmongers. I was on Joe Biden's ass over the constant arming and funding of the genocide in Israel. I was on